walk away and leave it all behind. And undoubtedly, the area, the college, will benefit tremendously from having equipment here. To the organising committee, it's very important here for the Board of Management to recognise that we have the capacity within our own staff in the Regional College to organise this conference. And wherever the idea come from, I think that you'll already have gathered that the conference is getting off to a good start, even on a Thursday evening. And I think it was a brave undertaking to undertake now 2 days plus the Thursday evening to embark on that kind of a conference. Certainly I think it is a courageous undertaking, and I, on behalf of the Board of Management, want to sincerely compliment the staff who have embarked on this conference, and hopefully they will be rewarded too. On the conference itself, briefly, I would say that on the question of information and technology, basically that is what this college is about. And we are now, all of us are embarking on the age when we realise what information and technology is all about. Those who do not involve themselves in or participate in the knowledge of technology of the future will be left behind. And this is an opportunity for this college to put itself on the map and to put Donegal on the map. And I want to thank all of the people who have contributed to get this conference off the ground. And hopefully the fruits of this effort will stand to the college and stand to the region for many years to come. Thank you for participating. Thank the sponsors who have kindly contributed to make the conference a success here. To each and every one of you that have came, hopefully you will find a warmth and a hospitality of Donegal here in the centre, and that you will leave the conference better informed about our region and committed to support the region in its endeavour in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. McGowan. Just two or three quick items. I think the first point I want to say is that we wish the people who are both chairman, which is a job I have got at this stage, well for the future, and all of the speakers. We also hope that you will obviously visit and support the exhibitors who have come here. They are listed, you've got the full information, and I think the key point that the organising committee would like to emphasise and the Board of Management would like to emphasise is that we could have a conference about talking, and we could have a conference for discussion which wasn't intended to lead on to action. We wanted to pick up the idea of an information technology zone in the northwest of Ireland which was applied and of benefit to that region and would be an experimental region within the EEC for such a zone. We hope that from this conference that idea will be given practical shape, and that it will be given practical shape in partnership with support from the various governments and from the agencies which are involved in information technology. I'll make one other point. In 1985 it was established that in Donegal there was one firm only in the production area in information technology. One can build from that and one must build from that, and we intend to build from that. And we intend to build from that by getting the various sectors in this region, in the northwest region, responding to the demands of information technology. And the final element, I'd just like to reiterate what the chairman has said, chairman of the Board of Management has said about the organising committee and the tremendous work that they have put in over recent months in organising conferences, in organising this conference, and might also mention to you that the intention would be that we would tackle the area of integrated operations or regional operations here as a topic in sometime in 1987. We know and you see that the capacity is there. the Regional College, through its Board of Management and staff, have the capacity to facilitate you in developing information technology in this region and so benefiting the region. With that, I wish the conference, the speakers, the chairman, the exhibitors and the delegates every success over the next day and a half, and look forward in participating with you and seeing the benefits on Saturday and flowing from there. Guim gach rach or ver fad a moira agus aro a moira. Ihuaigr.
Just a version of the paper that doesn't include my slide prompts. I could go do one and then you run. Yeah, there's two guys, a former nuclear physicist, working universities in Canada and the United States. Before coming to the MPS in 1970.
And you worked in
universities in England and the States.
where were you? And then you go ahead. You Testing. Hello, Mr. King.
Hello, Mr. O'Brien.
Hello, Dublin.
How are you?
I don't believe you're from Dublin at all. I think you're just in the next room.
Oh, really?
Can you prove you're from Dublin?
I don't think I can, but I have some photographs here of Dublin. Would that prove anything?
You could have those here as well. You know, that doesn't prove that you're from Dublin. Is there any way you can prove you're actually in Dublin at the moment?
Well, we have the late edition of the Evening Herald here. Would that do?
Yes, we'll believe that. Put that up and we'll see. I don't believe you.
Let's see what's on there.
Do we all agree that he's from Dublin?
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Seán Ó Longáin. I'm in the Lines and Broadband Division in Dublin in Telecom Eireann, and my role here tonight is to make sure that this new system of having conferences and so on runs smoothly. My technical assistant in Dublin, Mr. Derek King, will listen to you. He's there for a purpose, to listen and to monitor the sound and vision levels, but also to illustrate to you that he can be the same as us here. You could have a complete room of people in Dublin listening to this, if you like, talk tonight. It doesn't have to be in Dublin, by the way. It can be in New York, it can be in Paris, it can be in many parts of Ireland. So before we went on air here tonight, one professor suggested to me that, for instance, for universities, it would be a very interesting proposal to have this sort of facility available where one university would spend the money and bring in the speakers, and all our universities would, and regional technical colleges and so on, third level institutions would listen in. And I often wonder, you know, the Late Late Show is a tremendous show, and I enjoy it. I'm sure you all enjoy it. But maybe if we had this sort of a show available in some of the big cinemas around Ireland, or some of the big meeting rooms or ballrooms, and charge £1 each in, I wonder how many of us would go in if we knew that there was some very interesting discussion going on. But we wouldn't be prepared to go down the country for it, maybe. But we would spend 1 or 2 hours in Dublin or in Cork or in Limerick or wherever it may be, or in Letterkenny. Letterkenny, you know, people say Letterkenny is, my God knows, it's 4 or 5 hours away from Dublin. And having driven this morning at about 7 o'clock, I found it a very difficult task, I must say, especially negotiating through the border and so on. But I would far prefer to go into Dublin and listen to this, the conversation from Dublin, and listen to the presentations from Dublin. The idea of this video conference here, if I can just show you the possibilities, you have the face-to-face mode that you have here. You can see you have 4 speakers. If I do this, you only have 2 speakers. So you see, I have tremendous power here tonight. I can get people, I can get rid of them or so on. As well as that, then you have 2 auxiliary cameras. The first auxiliary camera is shown here, and for instance, I can illustrate for you the arrangement that you actually have in this room. You can see here you have guests, you have monitors, you see all the various monitors here, you have the panel, we're a panel here, and then you have various cameras and so on. In my paper, which I will give tomorrow, this information will be dealt with in more detail, but just to give you an idea. Now, apart from this room, there is another room adjacent to this, which has just monitors where you can see exactly what you see here. You know, just to give you the idea that you can have overflows and so on. And the other camera then, which is over at the other side, will show you the slides and the overhead transparencies. So really, we have taken the chore and the sweating out of lecturing. As you can see, all our lecturers are sitting down, nice and relaxed and comfortable. And in fact, for you as well, we would hope that you would sit down and be relaxed. And maybe if you have a question, a roving microphone will help you to be heard by everybody here. So with that, I hand over to the chairman, and I hope you will find this an interesting experiment. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hugh Lowe, and I'm your chairman for the first session. I think it's probably more convenient for me to sit and avail of this technology. Pardon? Stay where I am. I see we have our third speaker has just arrived, breathless. Do you want to get your breath back down there, Bob, first, or do you want to come up right away? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an immense pleasure for me to open this first session of your conference this evening and to congratulate the organisers, most notably Mr. Fitzsimons and Dr. Vincent Murphy, for the splendid array of speakers and the exhibits that they have assembled. I'm working in Europe now, and recently I visited the United States to look at some new technology applications to their less favoured regions and to their most remote regions. And the one thing that impressed me most was their ability, where they had a problem, such as poor soil or short growing season, to be able to face up to that problem, solve it, and then sell the solution right around the world. Montana, which had snow 7 months of the year, had developed a fast-growing, drought-resistant crop that enhanced the nutrition of the soil, and they were also able to sell, and they were then able to sell this biotechnology application to 28 different countries. They were able to do similar things with cloud seeding to improve the quality of their snow and thus improve the quality of their skiing industry and their skiing for tourism. I mention these because it strikes me that in the creation of this conference, the Northwest has set out on a road to overcome its major disadvantage in European terms, its remoteness. In conquering this problem, it is conceivable that Donegal and the Northwest can attain an excellence in some applications of information technology, which it can then trade with other parts of the world. The timing of the conference is most suitable, with the launching only this week of the EEC programme for information technology for the less favoured regions, on which we have been working for the last 2 years. My colleague, Dr. Paul Velchen, who will be here tomorrow, will deal in some detail with that programme. Because increasingly, the key to development is access to information coupled with the existence of economic and organisational structures which can take advantage from it. It is explicitly in this distant shrinking application of information technology that the transformation of core periphery relationships can occur. And there are opportunities for the less favoured regions of Europe to develop in this regard. Let me also tell you, in introducing this session, that we are now preparing a further community programme which will provide EEC, ERDF, regional fund resources for a new programme on science and technology, research and development for the less favoured regions. And one of the areas that we will obviously be looking at in that is the role that can be played by institutions such as R.T.Cs, which have a regional distribution throughout Ireland and which have similar types of organisations in other of the less favoured countries, notably in southern Italy and some parts of Spain. The last point I think I want to make really in this opening is to say that I think that the choice of the topics throughout the conference has been inspired, particularly to see the social applications of the information technology as a major subject for this conference. The range of issues which information technology has an impact on is very great, but little attention heretofore has been paid to information technology in the social applications, either here or in Europe. Information technology will in the future be a profound consequence to health, to care of the elderly, to the handicapped, to medicine, to the social services, to environmental protection, to traffic management, to the home, to education, and to privacy and security of the citizen. Many of the current applications Europe has of information technology in the social services are bought from the United States and Japan. And that is all the more alarming because most of the purchases are made by government funds, since almost all of these services are in the public sector. I'm confident, I'm satisfied that this, in the next decade, will become a major industrial issue in the years ahead. And the fact that Donegal has identified it so early in the spectrum as an issue on which it should deliberate in 1986 could prove perhaps a sector and an advantage to Donegal in developing this sector in the years ahead. I'm satisfied that you are probably aware of programs like the Esprit program and those programs which will be mentioned from time to time for information science, information technology for science, for information technology for industry, but that there will be probably a similar program, I would have thought, within a matter of a few years for the social applications and for the social services. And I think that Donegal, in bringing this to their attention, has done everybody a service. To return to the papers which it is my privilege to introduce this evening, I think, first of all, we ought to look at the names of the authors of them. Mr. Neal, Mr. McLaughlin, Mr. O'Donnell. It's not hard to guess what country they come from. It's not hard to guess what province they come from. And when you add in my own name, Logue, you could nearly say that they all come from the one county as well. With names like that, they are all very much located in the northwest. Yet I don't think any of them were actually born in Donegal. I think they were probably nearly all of them born the other side of the border. But all of these papers look to the future and the opportunities and challenges which lie ahead. The recent report on innovation policy in Ireland, prepared by the examiners of the OECD, spoke of the central need for the formulation of a clear vision for the country as a whole. That word turns up tonight in the first paper that's given, but vision is not developed in a vacuum. It is a gradual process involving all of us and participating with us. The word vision has not been heard very much. The concept of vision has not been very familiar in the decade that has just gone past. It is my great pleasure, therefore, to welcome the return of the word vision to our vocabulary, and it is my hope that having established it in the vocabulary of the Northwest and of Donegal, that this conference will help you to formulate from this conference a vision of a new Ireland, technological, economic, which will help you to ensure your own prosperity in the future. My first speaker this evening was born in Bangor, County Down. His name is Terry Neal. He's a partner in charge of Arthur Anderson and Company's management information consulting practice in Ireland. He's a graduate of Trinity College Dublin and the London Business School, and is a member of Arthur Anderson's vast firm-wide policy direction. His consulting career spans some 17 years, during which the main focus has been on the planning for and the practical application of information technology. I invite him to speak to you. Thank you.
Good evening. I've never before been immediately or virtually immediately preceded by a full commercial from Telecom Eireann, which I enjoyed. I'm delighted to say, as we sit surrounded by this massive array of technology, that an old-fashioned telephone rang up here somewhere about 10 minutes ago, and everybody ran around for 2 minutes trying to find it. It's a splendid sight. A vision of Ireland for the 1990s. There's obviously no end to my ambition.
He's not even taking us to sit in this hall. Last night, R.T.C man, we were standing up and I kept saying to what do you call it, Rita?
That's a one big operation.
Have you seen this one before?
No, don't give me kidney for those. You could call it.
You know, he himself talks about
Yeah, 100.
John Smith.
He looks like he's his arm around you. It's a hard time. Smiling and looking happy when after that.
Take your time.
all part of the next thing.
Here, get the multicolour jumper.
Well, at the moment, all this isn't costing nothing, you know. But I would. Yes, it was.
It doesn't use discontentment stuff.
It'll take a while.
Great system. Unfortunately, it goes at the back of that packy. It goes at the back of that machine. It's not terribly effective.
Beautiful.
Hold on a minute.